Welcome back, Basham family.
In today's video, we're going to be doing our engagement story, all the things leading up to us getting engaged and married at the age of 19 is when we got engaged.
We got engaged at 19.
So let's just jump into the story. So a lot of people always ask me if I knew I was getting engaged, and honestly, no. I thought I was breaking up with my boyfriend at the time. I thought we were breaking up because it was literally so crazy how the story plans out. But basically, I was getting ready to go on vacation with my family, and I kept asking my parents if Gabe could go, and they kept saying no, which was very rare for us because he's gone on many family vacations before with us, and I was just like, why do they keep saying no?
Yeah.
And at the time, Gabe was in trouble with my dad, so he went and had a talk with my dad.
And that's where I pick it.
And I thought I was mad at my parents for fussing at Gabe, when in reality, nobody ever fussed at Gabe. He was just asking for my hand in marriage.
Bruiser. Guys, Bruiser gets excited about them squeaky toys. So, it was a long time coming, guys. Basically, what happened was, ever since me and Drew, we started, like, seeing each other when we were, like, 14. We weren't actually allowed to call each other boyfriend, girlfriend until we were 16.
Yeah.
But from about 14 to about 15 is when I fell in love with her. And then from about 15 to 16 is when I was like, I'm gonna make her my wife one day.
But we were like kids.
But we were young. We were young, guys. We were 16. I just started driving, and it was, you know, we were like, hey, we talked about marriage.
We talked about it, but we were like, we know we can't get married yet because we're literally 17. Like,
but we talked about future plans.
Yeah.
And so
all the time.
All the time. So we both knew, guys, they keep hitting the camera. We always knew we wanted to get married, but obviously we were young. So what'd you have to do? We had to just date and wait, pretty much.
Date and wait.
We were dating and waiting. So I got my first big boy job right after I graduated high school.
Tell me what it was.
I worked at the ER for a little bit, but my first big boy job was someone I met at the ER's dad, like, was head over instrumentation and electrical at a big chemical plant in the neighboring city. So I was like, yo, at the time I was going to the local college for instrumentation. I did go to college, guys. Some of y'all don't think I did. I didn't get a degree though, so we're not talking about that.
Just get on the story. They want to know our engagement story.
Okay, so basically, when I got my first big boy job and we were 18, I was like, hey, we're legal. Hey, I'm making decent money.
Yeah.
Like, this is the time. Like, I gotta go get a ring. And I guess I'm getting so excited because this was just some of the best times of my life. And so I remember going through Drew's Pinterest, and I remember thinking, okay, we're gonna get a ring. Guys, I took a jar. Can I tell them this? I'm gonna tell them this. I took a jar. I was always terrible at saving money. Y'all in the comments will be like, you still are. Okay, it is what it is. I took a glass jar, I put E6000 on it, screwed it tight, and put it in my top drawer with a little slit so I could slip cash in there. So every paycheck, I'd get a few $100s, and I would just crank them up, and I'd shove them into this bank. I remember the last paycheck, I saved for a couple months. I remember the last paycheck I had to get to put into my glass jar to buy this ring. And I remember waiting on that day. I was like, oh yes, we're getting paid today. We're getting paid today. And that is Drew's ring right here, actually. If it'll focus in. That's her first one. Drew has 2 sets. I got her another set. Well, she wears both of them, but that's her original one. Anyways, so I literally got home with this cash, ran to my room, made sure in my head, I'm like, okay, because I'd always write on a piece of paper next to it how much was in the jar, and I added up, I'm like, I have enough for taxes, I have enough for all of it. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, how am I gonna break this jar? So I took my drill and I slammed the jar into my glass, into the top of my drawer.
Even to this day, Sierra says she remembered sitting at the kitchen table and hearing slam, and she was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, there was glass all in my top drawer. So I grabbed all the cash. I even cut my pinky finger grabbing the cash out of the stuff because I was so excited. Put it all, wadded it all up, and threw it in my back pocket. And I'll tell you about the old time I was driving this old beat up Chevy truck.
I love that Chevy.
I drove down to the local K Jewelers. I already had that ring picked out. I knew exactly what I was going after. I walked in, the lady said, oh, you're back. Because I was in there like a couple weeks before, just kind of schmoozling around. I was like, yes, ma'am, I'm back. She goes, do you want to look at some more rings? I said, no, ma'am, I know which one I'm here to buy. And she goes, okay. So I went up, picked the ring, went to the cash register, and she said, it's going to be however much it was. And I just took out this wad of cash, and she was like, What do you, like, imagine just a young kid walking in there.
In your coveralls.
In my coveralls from work with a wad of cash right before they close. And she's probably thinking, what?
She's probably thinking, what the heck?
She's probably like, this guy stole his parents' money. But, so anyways, I bought the ring. And guys, for the longest time, the ring was actually in the center console. This is I took it out every time I got out. But I always had the ring with me. I don't know why. I knew when I was going to propose. I knew. It wasn't like I was waiting for the right opportunity. I knew when I was. I already talked to her parents and knew when I was going to do it on their vacation. But
I didn't stinking know that. And I thought my stinking boyfriend was trying to break up with me.
We're about to get to that part. I'm trying to go fast because I'm trying to cram all this in. But she literally rode in my truck with the ring underneath the seat thing. I remember just sitting there smiling thinking, she don't even know.
This is to the point where he comes to my house to ask my dad for my hand in marriage. And that day, Gabe had kept driving on my parents' grass. And my dad, you know how dads are, they're kind of extra about their grass. Well, he kept driving on the edge of the grass, so there was like this tire mark dip. And my dad and Gabe and my mom created this huge fight story.
Elaborate plan.
That they were so mad at Gabe. So what does Drue do? Drue walks into the living room and she's like, you will not fuss at my boyfriend. I was like, y'all need to stop. Y'all aren't his mama and daddy. Like, y'all need to leave him alone. I don't know why you took him on a drive to tell him not to drive in the grass. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Like, I was like going at it. And my mom was like, you know what, Drue? This is why he's not going on vacation with us, because you have an attitude. And me and my mom went at it. And then after I got engaged, I was like, Mom, we literally fought for no reason. I'm like, you're so like...
But she knew.
She knew, and she just went along with it. It was so, oh my gosh. But
Miss Donna, you deserve an Oscar.
She literally does, because I believe them so much. Like, my parents were like, no, Gabe is so disrespectful, which he's not, but they were like, how dare he keep driving in our grass? And I was like, guys, it's literally like crunched up grass. Like, grass is meant to be stepped on. But like, I don't know. I was 19. I was a little turd. But so that night, it was like the night before we were leaving, and that all happened again because I'd asked if he could go. And then yeah.
So, this drive that happened, I texted Mr. Leonard and I said, hey, we need to create a plan. I need to talk to you. He knew what I wanted to talk to him about. But he was like, okay. So, literally, I texted him right before I got there, hey, you know, tell everybody we need to go on a drive. So, he did. When I got there, I was there for a little bit, and then he goes,
he told me, hey, I've had enough. Enough is enough. He was like, if you can't get your boyfriend to stop doing what I said not to do, I'm going to handle it. And I was like, oh, crap.
And then he said, hey, Gabe,
my dad's a man of few words.
Let's go on a drive. And I was like, oh, no.
My God. Oh, Kirby just knocked the camera.
And I said, oh, no, even though I knew what was going on. That's what she's looking for.
Dog parent life.
Anyways, long story short, I asked him. I was honestly nervous. I was really nervous. I knew he was probably going to say yes.
Gabe.bash of nervous?
I know, but I was a little bit nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I'm asking her dad right now. And what I did was I said, well, Mr. Leonard, I want to show you something. And he looked at me all crazy, and I pulled the ring in the box out of my pocket, and right then his face went, oh no. And I opened it up, and I showed him. He goes, that's a pretty ring. I said, yeah. I said, well, I want to know if I could, you know, have your blessing to take Drue's hand in marriage. And he was like, silent. I was like, nah! But then he was like, we just had a good conversation. He told me some stuff. We talked it out, and he gave me his blessing. So, now.
Caught that. Sorry.
Now, guys, and this all happened really fast because I already planned to get I planned out my paychecks to get the ring right before their trip. So literally, I bought the ring on a Tuesday. They were leaving on a Thursday. I asked Mr. Leonard on the Wednesday.
So we left
Bought
on
the ring
Thursday.
Tuesday. Asked them on Wednesday. They left on Thursday. So the next day, I remember the next day. Actually, I didn't leave the next day. Me and Rylan, my buddy Rylan, you guys know him. Me and Rylan left on Friday with Delane and Sierra.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be just me and Rylan. So Rylan's, hey man, you know what?
Which we have a whole vlog on that. It's linked. It's like the pinned video on our channel.
Guys, I filmed a whole vlog of me going to ask Drue to marry me. Guys, if you haven't seen that video yet, this is the part I'm about to get to. If you want to go watch that video after this one, it'll fill you in and show you what happened. Literally, Rylan got a new truck, and he's like, hey, I just got a new truck, and it gets pretty good gas mileage. Let's take my new truck. I was like, bro, you're going to take me in your new truck all the way to Alabama? Guys, like
9 hours.
Yeah, it's like an 8-9 hour drive. And he was like, dude, I would love to. By the way, Rylan is like, he's my brother.
That's your bro.
That's my bro.
That's Rad Rad.
That's Rad Rad. Rad Rad's my bro. He dropped everything, and me and him, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was literally insane.
It was insane. But, so me and Rad Rad got in the car, and at the time, Rylan kind of had a crush on Drue's sister. And so he was like, well, let's ask Delane to go. And I was like, I thought Delane was going to say no, because I'm like, she don't want to ride with me and Rylan and stay the night in a hotel.
But let me just say, none of my sisters knew. So Delane didn't know and Danae didn't know.
We didn't tell nobody.
So Delane was staying. Delane didn't go on the vacation. So I'm so glad that you told her because she wasn't going because she's a school teacher and she was busy doing like school stuff, I think is what it was.
Something like that.
And so she literally was like, hopped in the truck and she's like, I'm going. I can't miss my sister's engagement. Like I have to go. But like my parents didn't tell her. Even my sister Danae that was there, nobody knew because they didn't want me to find out. So like everybody was oblivious. Everybody but my mom and dad.
Mom and dad and me. We're and Rylan.
Only people that in Sierra and Delane. That's it.
Oh, Delane ended up figuring out the day we were leaving. He called Delane. Hey Delane, this is Rylan calling Delane. He had a crush on her, and she's like, "Yeah, what's up, Rylan?" He's like, "Hey, you wanna go to Alabama?" She's like, "No," and then he was like, "Well," and we just told her, "Hey, Gabe's proposing to Drew." She said, "What?"
She jumped in the truck.
She said, "Pick me up in 20 minutes." We were
and that's not like
what?
Delane at all. Delane is not spontaneous. Like
Guys,
she's so grandma.
She's grandma. We picked her little booty up in 20 minutes. She was packed up
And then
ready
Sierra
to
was
go.
like, well, if you're going, I'm going. And then she like quit her
Sierra
job.
had her last day. She quit her
job and went to go see us get engaged.
Got in the truck and went with us.
It was a whole thing.
Yo, it was crazy. But anyway, so we got in the truck and we had to make an 8-hour trip without her knowing.
So let me tell you what I was told.
This is
so I was told that he was flounder gigging with his friends. And Rylan's friends are very back home country dudes that will go out flounder gigging at 4 in the morning and they get lost. Can't find them. They're just country boys, right? Well, I was texting him and because I was mad, y'all. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the whole car ride to Alabama, I was pissed. Like, I was just sitting, I was looking out the window and I was like, I cannot believe my parents didn't let my boyfriend come. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, we go on every vacation together. Like, why this time they won't let him? So I was silent. My parents were like, Drew, like, talk to us. And I was like, no, I'm pissed. Well, I mean, I talked a little bit, but I was like a little salty.
The first day, I think from what I understand, you're upset, but I think by the second day, you were kind of
I was fine, but I was just a little salty, but I ended up getting over it because you're at the beach. Your parents taking you on vacation, like, you just get over it, right? So I literally get over it, and he told me that's what they're doing. Well, I would call him, and he wouldn't answer. If I'd call him, Rylan would answer, and it was just very sketchy. And so then I would ask him, what are you doing? And we always FaceTime, and we have Life 360 on each other. Well, he paused his locations, and then he also would send me photos.
Because I was on the way to Alabama. It was 8 hours. I had to dodge her for 8 hours.
But he would also send me photos from the internet.
Honestly, I should have just done what Rylan said. Rylan literally was like, bro, just turn your phone off. I'm like,
honestly,
you know.
But we were the annoying couple that we would hang out all day and then we would talk on the phone for the rest of the day. Like, we talk 24/7. And so
me and Drew, since the time we were like 14, 15 years old, have been inseparable. We literally, every moment we've been together, talk. I mean, we don't go. We didn't go a single day of dating without talking to each other.
But so I was confused as to why my boyfriend was not answering me. Like, and that's not like him. He's always answering me. He's always like, you know, answering me. So I was just like asking. So I was like, okay, send me a picture of where you're at. Because at the time we were only 19 and the guys that, me and Gabe don't really like party. We didn't really party back then. And he was hanging around guys that drank really young. So I was thinking, is he doing bad stuff? Like, is he out there doing something he's not supposed to be doing? So I was like, send me a picture. So then he would send me pictures from the internet. Like, legit, you could tell he just
tried and I cropped them. I tried to make it look real.
That made it worse because I was sitting here thinking, so I go to my sister Danae. So we're on a vacation, whatever. So the day of the engagement, I was told that we were taking family photos on the beach, which is normal. We always take family photos on the beach when we go to the beach. And so I go to my sister Danae and I just start crying. We're getting dressed and I'm like, Danae, I think Gabe's such a turd. Like, he's like doing this to me. I think we're gonna break up because he's just lying to me. I was like, the one time I go out of town, like, he's lying to me. I was like, I don't understand why he's doing this because he's never done that to me. But I was like, if I go out of town 9 hours away and he starts lying to me and sending me pictures from the internet and all these different things, I was like, then do I really trust him? Do I really know him? I was like, he is like lying to me and he's never lied to me. And so me and her talk, she gave me a big sister advice and she's like, well, you need to give him the benefit of the doubt. She's like, he's probably upset that mom and dad didn't let him come on the trip and he's probably upset just like you're upset. Because she was on my side the whole time. She was like, Mom, why didn't you let Gabe come? Like, she was on my side. And she was like, just get dressed. She's like, we're gonna look baddies. So me and her are getting dressed. We have music on. We're dancing. I'm trying to be happy, but I'm just like so sad. Like, I kept going, like, I was just so sad because I was so focused on like him lying to me and being like, you know, like just like what he was doing. And so we get dressed and the outfit that I chose for the family photos that matched everyone, I hated it. It was this dress I got from Marshall's. It had stripes on it. It was so ugly. And usually my parents would be like, Drew, get over it. You're cute just the way you are. Like, stop being so dramatic. Well, everybody was like, oh no.
So this was the next day.
Well,
though.
yeah, but everyone's like, oh no, Drue doesn't like her outfit. We need to fix this. And I'm thinking, why does everybody care so much about my outfit? Like, usually they're just like, Drue, you're dramatic. Because I'll buy something and be like, I absolutely hate it every time. And everyone's like, you're so dramatic. But this time was different. My mom was digging through her bag and Danae was like scrambling. But Danae didn't know. She just wanted to help. But she was like doing all this different stuff. And I finally found an outfit. It was that yellow outfit that my mom was going to wear.
That yellow dress, yeah.
And so we get dressed to go take pictures. We're on a golf cart, and then I'll let you go.
Supposed to be on the beach itself, but it started storming and raining. And so we were like, we can't be on the beach and get wet way out there on the sand. So our dad's like, hey, there's a pretty place on the golf course. If we're just going to switch locations, do it on this part of the golf course. So we were like, okay, cool. So we met up, hid behind the trees, and then Miss Lynn texted me, okay, we're coming. The trolley thing, like the golf cart thing that they were on.
They drive you around. So the guy that was driving us around was in on it too. And he was like, hey, I think this is a good spot for photos. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's raining. Like, it's not going to be cute. But my parents were, I'm always like down for a photo. So my dad goes, hey, Drue, you jump out and you should take some pictures of yourself. You need some really cute pictures of yourself. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. Like, I'm so cute. I'm taking me some pictures. So I'm walking down this path.
You're walking down like that long, like little bridge thing.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I see Gabe, and then I see Sierra, I see Rylan, I see Delane. And all that could come out of my mouth was, you lied to me, you lied to me.
So I come walking up, and I come walking up, I say, hey, baby. And she's like, what are you doing here?
I was so confused. I was so shocked. I literally thought I was getting broken up with. Like, that's how shocked
all the way
I was.
up there to get broke up with you?
No, but my mind was, your boyfriend's breaking up with you, but then I see you, and I'm like, what is going on?
And then I just hit a knee, popped the ring out, and I said, Drue.
You were so
I was nervous, but I told you.
You talked so fast.
I don't even remember all the stuff I said. I was talking like this, like really fast.
No.
But I said a bunch of stuff.
Like, you were talking so fast that I was like, oh my gosh.
And then I just remember saying, you make me the happiest person in the entire world. I would love for you to be my wife. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? And then I opened up the box and the ring
and I was like,
and she's like, and she's standing there and she's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, God. She said yes, thank God.
And Rose like, yay, she said yes. But
and then I put it on her finger. She kissed me, gave me a hug, and
then I was like, everybody's here. Oh my gosh.
And then everybody gave her hugs, and then the rest of the day we went and got a bite to eat at that place.
Some of my dad's friends from Louisiana came down, like some of his high school friends came down. We all went and had dinner at Lulu's, if you're familiar with Gulf Shores, Alabama. But yeah, that is literally our engagement story.
And then we went separate as boyfriend and girlfriend, and we rode back together as fiancés.
I literally thought that we were breaking up. So I think the story ended up super sweet, and it's something we will never forget. It is literally a story that nobody will ever forget, and I stinking love it so much.
I love you.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We hope you enjoyed our engagement story. Comment down below if you want any more stories from us, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Bye
guys.
Would you hold me if I told you we can just run away? So come, my darling, let me help you. We can follow the sun and leave the rain for somebody else. Let's help ourselves, leave our troubles upon the shelf. And don't you worry, we're gonna find all we need in our sunset path.